Bengai Islands, Sulawesi. In the heart of the Coral Triangle, an important collection area for marine ornamentals, we will begin our search for the Pacific blue tang. The no-take zone. No-take zones off the Bengai coast were established to protect nature from fishing. Regular assessments provide information on the sea life population. We continue to keep an eye out for the Pacific blue tang. We charter a boat to look for the Pacific blue tang outside of the no-take zone. The adjacent area is located behind a small barrier island. We witnessed some explosions. Fishing with dynamite is widespread in Indonesia. As we approach the fishermen, one is fleeing the scene. The other is too busy collecting dead fish to notice. He only notices us when we get closer. The fisherman knows that dynamite fishing is illegal and that he will be punished severely. He denies having been involved in the crime. Taking a look under, the destruction of the coral reef is enormous. It is totally pulverized, and the sediment is clouding the water. The sole reason for the destruction is this fish, a naso tang. It is offered in restaurants as a delicacy. For that reason, the fishermen are willing to risk it all and don't think of all the other fish that they're killing, like this school of red-toothed triggerfish. Dead fish can only be sold in the local seafood market, substantially lowering the price of all the fish that were killed in the blast. This reef will take many years to regenerate as a fishery resource. It is pointless to continue our search for the Pacific blue tang in this area. Collection Area 2, Post Larvae. Les, a fishing village in North Bali. The fishermen here have collaborated for many years with NGOs to fish sustainably. The Marine Aquarium Council, for example, was a flagship project in the aquarium trade. Since the failure of MAC in 2008, the Indonesian Nature Foundation, Yayasan Alam Lestari Indonesia, takes care of the fishermen. The new project, Post Larvae. Small post-juvenile Pacific blue tangs are reared in special cages. The post larvae are fished from the sea in the Irian Jaya that's located in West Papua. The post larvae arrive about 2 centimeters in size, generally considered already to be juveniles. They are fed a diet of pellets until they reach the ideal marketable size for the aquarium trade, which is 5 to 7 centimeters. After the harvest, the numbers are documented and are handed over to LINI for scientific evaluation. After this, the juveniles are prepared for overland transport. The drive to the exporter takes approximately 5 hours. Tribute. On June 17, 2014, a Malaysian airline plane, flight MH17, was shot down over an area controlled by Russian separatists in Ukrainian territory. 298 people, including 80 children, were killed. Amongst the passengers was Dr. Alex Poleg, Secretary General of the Industrial Association Ornamental Fish International, OFI. As a gesture of remembrance for him, his wife, and his son, 3 Pacific blue tangs were released into the wild. Exporter 1. A exporter based in Jimbaran who cooperates with LINI takes over the juvenile Pacific blue tangs. Quality control and quarantine are routine process here. Collection Area 3. We charter a new boat to a new fishing area. Finally, we get a glimpse of the Pacific blue tang. During a shot for the German TV ZDF program Planet E, we finally traced her for the first time. Unfortunately, we only got to see a few adult specimens. Adult fish are considered taboo for the aquarium trade. Natural populations need spawners for replenishment and survival of the species. However, this fisherman is showing us how sustainable harvest methods are applied. Supplier, the middleman. The area around Banyuwangi plays a major role in the Indonesian aquarium fish trade. Here, fishermen and middlemen meet to pass on their goods to suppliers and larger exporters. Exporter 2. Sometimes, fishermen show up to deliver their own goods. However, it's usually suppliers, the middlemen, that turn them over in larger quantities. Recently, more often, by using inland flights to reduce transport time. The fish are inspected for quality, registered, acclimated, and quarantined before being transferred to the stock system. We attach great importance to quality and reject suppliers that offer us fish caught with cyanide. Even though we have our own methods to stop this practice, we cannot completely rule it out. A cyanide test would be very beneficial here. The animals are prepared for export. First, they have a 3-day starvation period for purging their systems. This helps to minimize the risk of poisoning during transport. Next, specially prepared packing water is essential for keeping the dead on arrival rate low. The same goes for the oxygen that's put in the bag.
Basically, for ornamental fish export, our authority have the same regulation. Yeah, we must have like a quarantine certificate and also like certificate of origin, airway bill, and also status permit if we send for us. The only difference between EU and other countries, they have a special requirement. Okay? We call it EU health certificate. Like if we send corals, they must be accompanying with legal certificate. We call it a status permit. For the United States, there is no need to get import permit or approval from their country. They just need the paperwork, status, it's coming with the coral shipment, that's it. But for European Union, they have a regulation with every status permit must be checked and approved before the exporter or importer can use it for an export or import. Also, European Union, they have like SRG or scientific review group that have some restrictions about the importation of corals. Right now, from Indonesia, there are certain species that not allowed to be imported, like Heliopungia, Draciphylia, Blastomusa, and other species also. But already some of the European countries, they approve that species to be imported if the source is from culture. So right now we put a lot of effort to have a license and to have to make propagation from those species that now not allowed to be exported to European countries, and hopefully we will have more variety and more diversity on the coral.
Depending on the season, ice or heat packs are added to the boxes to compensate for temperature fluctuations during the long journey. The ride from the holding facility to the airport takes about 30 minutes, the shortest part of the trip halfway around the world. If one's lucky and the paperwork has been filed correctly, it goes fast.
Yes, finish. Finish, boss, finish. Masuk TV.
Once again, a few hours on the road, more or less, depending on where the importer resides. Now everything has to happen quickly. Here the animals benefit from optimized processing. Quality of the transport water and the animals are checked during unpacking and reported back to the exporter. During the long time in transport, the water's pH drops to unnatural levels due to excretion and exhalation. Differences in pH, temperature, and salinity in the transport water and the facility's water need to be balanced out by slow acclimation. To avoid ammonia toxication, it is extremely important to bring the fish from the polluted water in the transport bags to ammonia-free water with pH similar to the ones in the bags, and then raise the pH slowly. The holding system's pH of 8.2 is lowered to 6.8 using CO2. Temperature and salinity differences are rather minor and adapted by minimal and slow additions of system water to the packing water. The fish are then introduced to the clean water of the holding system. pH levels are brought back slowly to 8.2. Gentle acclimation in tanks of sufficient size reduce the stress and the risk of disease. What can we expect from a wholesaler? The wholesaler makes sure that after importation, animals are properly acclimated and quarantined and have recovered to normal feeding behavior and good health before entering the further chain of custody. Acclimation and quarantine best practices are especially difficult for retailers and hobbyists to achieve. Therefore, the wholesaler plays a central role in ensuring a good quality and healthy live product. A responsible importer and wholesaler also provides quality assurance feedback to the exporters, advises retailers on suitable and ecological sustainable species available. Retail and the hobby. Although the trend toward online purchasing continues to increase, a personal consultation is always beneficial. Both buyers and sellers can get an idea of the status of the animals and the existing tank. A good salesman does not sell any animal without some knowledge about the suitability of the client to take proper care of the animal. A responsible aquarist refrains from purchasing an animal, no matter how much he might like it, when it doesn't fit the size or composition of his existing tank. A Pacific blue tank can grow relatively old and large. If purchasing one, please purchase one responsibly.
Mana lagi itu? Jadi perintah. Sudah.
Nah, sampai merah ini keluar kan.
Surpi bergerak. Mana ya? Oh, dia. Ini.
Join the
Apa deh? Das Gift hilft ihnen zwar, schnell an Zierfische zu kommen, Cyanid betäubt aber alle Lebewesen, die damit in Kontakt kommen. Für Korallen ist es tödlich. Zurück bleibt eine öde Unterwasserwelt. Genau das will die deutsche Meeresbiologin Christiane Schmidt in anderen Küstengebieten Indonesiens verhindern. Sie begleitet eine weitere Fischercrew, um sich ein Bild von deren Arbeit zu machen.
Wir haben schon Informationen bekommen, dass eben die Fische immer weiter rumziehen müssen, halt in entlegenere Gebiete, weil es eben in den früheren Fanggebieten keine Fische mehr gibt. Und man jetzt anfängt quasi zu nomadieren in Indonesien, um an diese Fische zu kommen.
Die Fischer fahren bei Sonnenaufgang raus. Mit auf Tour der Zierfischeinkäufer Ngura. Er arbeitet für einen Großexporteur in Bali, der Zierfische im großen Stil verkauft.
Ich hoffe, wir können so um die 100 Doktorfische fangen. In mittlerer Größe.
500 Exemplare des begehrten Palettendoktors braucht der Händler jede Woche für den Export.
Wir sind jetzt 4 Stunden hierher gefahren. Das kostet für die Fischer einen Haufen Benzin. Und es gibt ja keine Garantie. Das Meer ist leider kein Kaufhaus, wo man sich die Fische einfach aus dem Regal holen kann. Und das ist vielleicht auch das, was in den Märkten oft unterschätzt wird.
Das Boot dieser Crew ist mit Kompressoren ausgerüstet. Sie versorgen die Taucher über Schläuche mit Sauerstoff.
Die brauchen halt einen Kompressor, um auch so zu fischen in der Art und Weise, eben so behutsam und ohne die Korallen zu zerstören. Was sie eben beim Freitauchen einfach nicht machen können, weil sie die Zeit nicht haben. Und das ist dann natürlich auch der Schritt, wo vielleicht dann eben auch mal Cyanid zum Einsatz kommen kann, weil es geht eben einfach schneller und einfacher, Tiere, die sich verstecken, eben damit rauszulocken.
Christiane Schmidt will viele Fischer vor Ort aufklären und für schonende Fangmethoden gewinnen. Dank der Luftversorgung unter Wasser können die Taucher begehrte Exemplare wie den Doktorfisch gezielt in Netze treiben. So bleiben Korallen, andere Lebewesen und auch die Fische selbst unbeschadet.
Hier ist noch nicht lange Aquariumfischerei, die betrieben wird halt. Die Fische sind erst jetzt hierher geschickt worden, um eben zum Beispiel den Palettendoktor eben zu finden oder seltenere Arten, die eben in den nahegelegenen Fanggebieten von den Exportstationen nicht mehr zu finden sind. Und dementsprechend sind die Riffe noch in einem ganz guten Zustand. Aber man sieht auch schon erste Anzeichen.
Etwa 90% der marinen Aquarienfische werden wild gefangen. Die Fischer verpacken sie an Bord einzeln, versorgen sie mit Sauerstoff und lagern sie unter Deck. Dann beginnt für die Zierfische eine Reise um die halbe Welt. Von Parigi auf Sulawesi geht's mit dem Auto 8 Stunden nach Palau und dann 16 Stunden im Flieger über Makassar bis ins 2000 Kilometer entfernte Denpasar auf Bali. In der Provinzhauptstadt kommen die Fische zum zentralen Großexporteur, der den weltweiten Vertrieb organisiert. Die erste Reiseetappe überlebten früher nur etwa 50% der Meerestiere. Das hat sich grundlegend geändert, auch durch die Arbeit von Christiane Schmidt. Sie gründete einen Verein, der sich für den schonenden Fang und Handel von Zierfischen einsetzt. Regelmäßig begutachtet die Deutsche, wie Haltung und Kontrollen bei dem indonesischen Zierfischexporteur ablaufen.
Wenn wir den Verdacht haben, dass Fische mit Cyanid gefangen wurden, dann lehnen wir die konsequent ab. Bei solchen Fischen kann man ziemlich schnell erkennen, dass sie Probleme haben.
Die Einstellung des Händlers übt einerseits Druck auf seine Zulieferer aus, nachhaltige Fangmethoden zu praktizieren. Andererseits stecken dahinter natürlich auch wirtschaftliche Interessen. Denn nur gesunde Tiere lassen sich weiterverkaufen.
So, für die Reise bekommt der Fisch 30% Wasser und 70% Sauerstoff. Zuerst drücken wir die Luft raus und dann pumpen wir den Sauerstoff rein.
So verpackt stehen den Fischen noch mindestens 12.000 Flugkilometer bevor.
Also ich bin überhaupt nicht gegen diesen Handel, weil ich denke wirklich, das ist unrealistisch zu sagen, so, man verbietet es halt oder lässt es einfach. Also dann fördert man einen Schwarzhandel und den kann man überhaupt nicht mehr regulieren halt. Das hat man gar nicht mehr unter Kontrolle. Und Kontrolle ist für mich eben auch das Stichwort. Also ich denke, es braucht viel mehr Regulierung. Einfach per Gesetz halt Regulierung von dieser Fischerei.
Für den Transport werden die Fische in Styroporboxen gepackt. Sie schützen die Tiere vor Temperaturschwankungen. Täglich geht ein Container voller Zierfischkisten nach Deutschland.